Next topic is the solution of linear equations. Solution of linear equations by matrix method. As we know that the system of equations can be written as a11 x1 plus a12 x2 plus and so on a1n xn equal to b1, a21 x2 plus a2n x2 plus a2n xn equal to b2 and so on an1 x1 plus an2 x2 plus and so on ann xn equal to bn. This system of linear equations, why it is called linear? Because we have the variable here x1 x2 xn. All the variables have the single power. That's why it is known as a linear equations. This system can be written as ax equal to b, where a is equal to a11, a12, a1n, a21, a22, a2n, an1, an2, ann. X equal to x1, x2, xn and b equal to b1, b2, bn. This A is known as a coefficient matrix. This is known as a variable matrix and this is constant matrix. And the complete system can be written as ax equal to b. On the basis of this, we can divide the system two parts. When b is equal to 0, the system ax equal to 0 is known as a homogeneous system of linear equations. When b is not equal to 0, ax equal to b exists. This is known as a non-homogeneous system linear equations. What is the difference between these two? Just you see through the example, like x plus 2y plus 3z equal to 4. And there are the three equations. And x plus 2y plus 3z is equal to 0. And suppose number of three equations. Here it is the right side equal to 0 because we have the variable power same as 1 throughout the equations. That's why it is known as a homogeneous, samghat, homogeneous. Due to this term, this can be written as 4x to the power 0, 4y to the power 0, whatever you can write. Due to this term, the homogeneity vanishes. Through this is constants, that's why it is known as a non-homogeneous. Because we have the right side, the constant value, that's why it is known as a non-homogeneous system linear equations. Now today we will study the non-homogeneous system of linear equations to solve. First is Cramer's rule. In this rule, this ax equal to b, as we know that, first we find the determinant value a. Evaluate what will be the determinant a. If it is non-zero. That is, A is non-singular matrix. Then we can apply the Cramer's rule. Otherwise, if it is singular matrix, then we can't apply the Cramer's rule. This is the limitations of the Cramer's rule. Evaluate determinant A, and in this method, determinant A1 that can be evaluated. How it can be evaluated? First, replace the constant matrix B. Put that column replaced by the first column and evaluate the matrix that is equals to, suppose, A1, and the determinant of that value is determinant A1. In the second, A2. A2 can be obtained by the second column replaced by B. B is this second column. All the remaining columns are same, and we can evaluate the determinant value of the corresponding matrix, and step by step we can replace the respective column by the column B, and we can evaluate the determinant of the respective matrix. Suppose this is determinant A3, determinant An, and the variable value x1 equal to x1 upon determinant A1 is equal to x2 upon determinant A2, and so on. Xn upon determinant An is equal to 1 upon determinant A. So we will find x1 equal to determinant A1 over determinant A, x2 is equal to determinant A2 over determinant A, and so on. Xn equal to determinant An over determinant A. So this is the variable's value, and you know that this method, because determinant A is in the denominator part, so this is the essential conditions, determinant A is non-zero. That's why the Cramer's rule is applicable for the non-singular matrix. Let us consider through the example like x1 plus 2x2 plus x3 is equal to 4, and x1 minus x2 plus x3 is equal to 5, 2x1 plus 3x2 minus x3 is equal to 1. So this is the example. Let us consider, and we can apply the Cramer's rule and solve. Here A is equal to the coefficient matrix. As you know that the coefficients are 1, 2, 1, 1, minus 1, 1, 2, 3, minus 1. Variable matrix X equal to x1, x2, x3. There are the three variables, and the constant matrix equal to 4, 5, 1. So first we evaluate the determinant A value. This can be obtained by 1 into, this can be solved by the any single row or column. Say the first row, 1 minus 3 minus 2 minus 1 minus 2, then plus 1. This is 3 plus 2. This is minus 2 plus 6 plus 5 is equal to 9, which is not equal to 0. So we can apply the Cramer's rule because A be a non-singular matrix. For this, A1 is the first matrix replaced by the column B, 4, 5, 1 through first column. Remaining two columns are the same. This is the new matrix A1. and determinant A1 is equal to 4 into 1 minus 3 minus 2 into minus 5 minus 1 and plus 1 into 15 plus 1. So this is minus 8 plus 12 plus 16 is 20. A2 is equal to the second column replaced. So this is 1, 1, 2, 4, 5, 1, 1, 1 minus 1. Second column is replaced by B. Determinant A2 you can find here the 1 into minus 5 minus 1 minus 4 into minus 1 minus 2 plus 1 into 1 minus 10. So this is minus 6 plus 12 minus 9. This is minus 3. A3. Third column replaced 1, 1, 2, 2 minus 1, 3, then 4, 5, 1. Determinant A3 equal to 1 into minus 1 minus 15 minus 2 into 1 minus 10 plus 4 into 3 plus 2. So this is minus 16 plus 18 plus 20, 22. So as per the formula of the Cramer's rule, this x1 variable value is equals to determinant A1 over determinant A, and this will determinant A1 is 20, determinant A is 9, x2 is equal to determinant A2 over determinant A, that is minus 3 by 9, and x3 equal to determinant A3 over determinant A, and this is 22 by 9. So these are all the variables value which can be obtained by the Cramer's rule, and the limitation of the Cramer's rules are when we have the determinant A is non-singular matrix. Now we can solve the same algebraic equations by another method, the second method of matrix. As we know that the system of linear equations can be written as Ax equal to B. If determinant A is non-zero, that means A inverse exists. So what we can do here, multiplied by A inverse left the side. By associative law, this can be written as A inverse A into X equal to A inverse B. A inverse A equal to I into X equal to A inverse B. So X equal to A inverse B. This is the another method. We can find the solution of the variable. Just you see here the same example, above example, A equal to, as we know that 1, 2, 1, 1 minus 1, 1, 2, 3, then minus 1, x equal to x1, x2, x3, and B is equal to 4, 5, 1. So what we can do for this method, we have to evaluate the A inverse, and this A inverse can be obtained by the whatever you can learn the method. Suppose A inverse, you know that A inverse is traditional method adjoint A upon determinant A, or either you can evaluate it by the elementary transformations or algebraic equations, whatever. Suppose we can solve here through the elementary transformation method. In elementary transformations method, A can be written as A equal to A 1 2 1 1 minus 1 1 2 3 minus 1, and this is 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. This is I into A. In inverse finding of inverse through elementary operations, you know that if you can apply the row operations, then throughout the row operation, and if you can start with the column operations, then you can apply throughout the column operation in the entire procedure. Here it is A11 equal to 1. So what we can do here, this R1 multiplied by minus 1 operated on second row, R1 multiplied by minus 2 operated on third row. So this is 1 2 1. This is 1 minus 1 0 minus 3. This is 0, and again it is, this is 0 minus 1 minus 3. The same operations can be done on the right side. Identity matrix, minus 1 1 0 minus 2 0 1 into A. Now the next is through second row the A22 should be 1. For this it's better to replace or interchange the second and third row. So R23 apply the operation 1 2 1 0 minus 1 minus 3, then 0 minus 3 0. 1 0 0 minus 2 0 1 minus 1 1 0. Another is, if you can also apply, it's better R2 1 minus 1 by 3, then again you can find the 1. So it's better to either take this operation or this operation, whatever you want, right? And if I can apply this method this operation, so multiply R2 by minus 1, so this should be positive, this should be positive. The same operations can be done on the right side, so this should be 1. When it is 1, then we can apply R2 multiplied by minus 2 operated on first row, R2 multiplied by 3 operated on the third row. So here 0 1 3 second row as it is उतरेगी. इसके बाद minus 2 से multiply करेंगे. This is minus 2 0 minus 6 minus 5. Here it is 0 multiplied by 3 3 minus 3 0. This is 9. In the right side 2 0 minus 1. This is minus 2. 1 minus 4 is minus 3. This is 0. This is 2. Again 3. 3 2 just 6 minus 1 5. This is 1. This is minus 3 into A. दोनों कॉलम्स देखे तैयार हो गए. अब थर्ड के लिए A33 बराबर 1 चाहिए, और 1 के लिए सबसे बेहतर होगा कि यहाँ पर 1/9 से इसको मल्टीप्लाई कर दें R3 को. तो दिस विल कम 1 0 minus 5 0 1 3 0 0 1, और this will come minus 3 0 2 2 0 minus 1 5/9 1/9 minus 3/9 into A. through operated R3 multiplied by 5 operated on first, in R3 multiplied by minus 3 operated on second. So this will come 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 is equals to the same operations. First you can write here 5 by 9, 1 by 9, minus 3 by 9 multiplied by 5. So this is minus 3 plus 25 by 9. So it is minus 2 by 9. Next 5 by 9 minus 15 by 9. 2 minus 15 by 9. That is 3 by 9. Next is minus 3. 2 minus 15 by 9. That is minus 3 by 9. Again it is 3 by 9. Minus 3 by 9. Sorry. And this is 9 by 9. This is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0 into A. So this is equals to this one is like this. So here this can be written as I is equal to 1 by 9 minus 2 5 3 minus 3 minus 3 0 5 1 minus 3 into A. So this is A inverse. The method says x equal to A inverse B. x1, x2, x3, and the value of A inverse is 1 by 9, minus 2, 5, 3, minus 3, minus 3, 0, 5, 1, minus 3, and then B. B is 4, 5, 1. You can multiply and find 1 by 9 here. This is minus 8 plus 25 plus 3. Minus 8 plus 25 plus 3. Then minus 12 minus 15 plus 0. 20 plus 5 minus 3. This is 1 by 9. This is 20. This is minus 27. 22. So x1 equal to 20 by 9. Then it is the plus minus 3. X2 equal to minus 3 by 9 and x3 equal to 22 by 9. This will the same result as you find through the Cramer's rule through the same example. So for both the methods, just you see here, both methods are applicable for the non-singular matrix. And another one thing that is, we have the method when we have the same number of variables equal to the number of equations. That is the limitations of this method. If the number of equations and the number of variables are different, then we can apply another method that is called general solution of the linear equation system. We will study in the next lecture, that is another method. So today we have complete the solution of linear equations by these two methods. Thank you. Sure.